The sky turned purple the day the aliens came. Not just one ship, but hundreds. They hung over Earth's major cities like giant metal clouds. No one knew what they wanted until they spoke. "Humans are too dangerous to join the stars," said the message in every language. "The Galactic Council has voted. Earth must be removed." Most people did not understand what removed meant until the ground shook. Giant machines, bigger than mountains, landed in the oceans. They hummed with power that made teeth hurt and windows break. Jai-Ho Kim watched from his lab in Seoul as the news showed the machines at work. He was 35, with short black hair and tired eyes from working late nights. As Earth's top energy scientist, he knew what the readings meant before anyone else. "They're pushing us away from the sun," he told his team, pointing at his computer screen. "These are gravity engines." 3 days later, the world leaders confirmed it. Earth was being slowly pushed out of its orbit. In 2 years, the planet would be too far from the sun for life to continue. Plants would die first, then animals, then people. The aliens had sentenced humanity to a slow, cold death. Panic spread across the world. Some fought back, launching nuclear missiles at the alien ships, but energy shields turned the weapons to dust. Others built underground bunkers, hoping to survive somehow. Hannah Park, the newly elected United Earth president, called for calm. She was strong and spoke plainly, her voice steady even as the world fell apart. "We will not die in the dark," she said in her first speech. "Humanity has faced extinction before. We will find a way." Jai-Ho thought the same. While others prepared for the end, he worked day and night in his lab. Earth had one advantage: time. The aliens could have destroyed the planet instantly, but chose the slower method of exile. "We can use Earth itself," Jai-Ho told President Park when she visited his lab 6 months later. "Our planet has a molten core. That's heat and energy that won't go away when we leave the sun behind." His plan was bold. Massive drills would reach deep into Earth's crust to tap the planet's internal heat. This geothermal energy could power artificial lights for growing food and heating homes, even in the cold of space. "It will take all our resources," Hannah said, looking at his designs, "and we'll need to work together." For once, the countries of Earth did work together. Old enemies shared technology and resources. Within a year, the first of Jai-Ho's geothermal stations was complete. As Earth grew colder and days grew darker, Tali, a military leader who had once commanded armies, now led the building of underground cities. His voice boomed through construction sites as he pushed workers to move faster. "The surface will freeze first," he warned. "We need to go deep where the planet's heat can reach us." By the time Earth passed Mars' orbit, the first underground city was ready. Named Hope, it housed 1 million people beneath the old city of Geneva. Its ceiling glowed with artificial sunlight powered by Jai-Ho's geothermal stations. The aliens watched from a distance, but did not interfere. Perhaps they thought humans would give up, or turn on each other as resources grew scarce. They were wrong. 1 year and 8 months after the exile began, Earth passed Jupiter. The surface was now covered in snow and ice, but beneath the frozen ground, humanity adapted. More underground cities opened. Farms grew food under special lights. Engineers built factories to make what people needed. Jai-Ho stood with Hannah and Tai at the opening of the 10th underground city. Outside, the stars looked different now, with the sun becoming just another bright point in the darkness. "They meant to kill us," Jai-Ho said quietly, "but they gave us the stars instead." Hannah nodded, her breath making clouds in the cold air. "This is just the beginning. One day, we'll show them what humanity can really do." 50 years passed since Earth's exile. The once blue planet now drifted far beyond Pluto, deep in the cold blackness of space. But humanity did not die. Instead, they thrived. Commander Sun Choi stood in the control room of Earth Defense Base 1, watching pilots train in simulator pods. At 42, she had never seen the sun as anything but a distant star. Born in the underground city of New Seoul, Sun had grown up hearing stories of blue skies and warm beaches. "How are the new recruits doing?" she asked her second-in-command. "Better than last group," he said. "4 of them might be good enough for real ships." Sun nodded. Earth now had 30 spacecraft. Small, fast vessels built from metals mined from the planet's crust. Not enough to fight the aliens who had exiled them, but enough to explore nearby space. 10 kilometers below them, Earth's largest city, New Terra, bustled with life. 2 million people lived and worked there, never seeing the frozen surface above. Jeho Kim's geothermal technology had been improved over the years, providing endless energy from the planet's core. Vast farms grew food under artificial lights. Children went to school, never knowing any other way of life. In his lab at the center of New Terra, engineer Dae-sung Kang bent over a strange piece of metal. At 35, Dae-sung was considered Earth's most brilliant mind since Jeho Kim, who had died 20 years earlier. "It has to work," he muttered to himself, connecting wires to the alien metal. 3 months ago, a scouting ship had found something amazing. A broken alien vessel drifting in space. The ship was small, perhaps only a transport, but it contained technology humans had never seen before. Dae-sung had spent every waking hour studying the ship's engine. If he could understand it, humans might travel faster than light, perhaps even catch up to the Galactic Council that had banished them. In another lab nearby, Min-yoon carefully examined samples from the alien ship. As Earth's top xenobiologist, she studied the dried blood and skin flakes found inside the vessel. "They breathe the same air we do," she told her team. "Their DNA is different, but their basic needs seem similar." This was important news. It meant humans could possibly survive on the same planets as the aliens who had exiled them. That evening, the leaders of Earth met in the Grand Council chamber. President Hana Park had been gone for 30 years, but her daughter, Sue Park, now led humanity. At her side sat Commander Sun, Dae-sung, and Mina. "We have lived in exile for 50 years, Sue said, her voice strong like her mother's. "We have survived. But now it's time to do more than survive." Dae-sung stood up, holding a small metal device in his hand. "I've done it," he said. "I've figured out how their faster-than-light drive works. We can build our own now." The room filled with gasps and murmurs. "There's more," Mina added. "The aliens who built that ship are physically weaker than humans. Their bones break more easily. Their muscles are less dense. They evolved on a low-gravity world." Commander Sun leaned forward. "What does this mean for us?" "It means," Sue said, "that we are stronger than at least some aliens. We adapted to losing our sun. We can adapt to space travel too." Dae-sung nodded. "With this technology, we can build ships that travel between stars in days instead of centuries. We can find new homes. Or," he paused, "or we can find those who sent us away." Commander Sun finished. Sue stood, looking at them all. "My mother believed that one day humanity would return to the stars on our own terms. That day has come." As the meeting ended, Dae-sung walked to a window that showed the ice-covered surface of Earth. Somewhere up there, beyond the blackness of space, were alien civilizations that had thought humans too weak to survive. They were wrong. "We're coming," he whispered to the stars. The EDS Resilience floated silently in space, its dark hull reflecting distant stars. Inside, Captain Jun Ryu watched the main screen with narrow eyes. At 43, Jun had spent most of his life training for this moment, the first planned meeting with alien life since Earth's exile. "Any sign of them?" he asked his sensor officer. "Not yet, Captain. But we're at the right coordinates." Earth now had a small fleet of 10 FTL ships, built using the technology Dae-sung Kang had discovered. For 3 years, these ships had explored nearby star systems, careful to avoid planets controlled by the Galactic Council. Last month, one scout ship had made accidental contact with a merchant vessel belonging to a species called the Naduri. Instead of attacking, the Naduri had shown curiosity. Messages were exchanged, and a meeting was arranged. "Contact," the sensor officer shouted. "Ship approaching at sublight speed." The alien vessel that appeared on screen looked nothing like human ships. It was round and flat, with glowing blue rings spinning around its center. About twice the size of the Resilience, it moved with graceful ease. "Open communications," Jun ordered. On screen appeared a being with purple-gray skin and 4 eyes positioned around a circular head. It had no nose, just breathing slits, and its mouth was a small line. "Greetings, humans of Earth," it said in surprisingly good English. "I am Sora, trade master of the Naduri Merchant Guild." Ambassador Jin Wong stepped forward. At 55, Jin was Earth's most experienced diplomat, though until now he had only dealt with humans. "Greetings, Trade Master Sora," Jin said with a small bow. "We are honored to meet the Naduri." The meeting went better than anyone had hoped. The Naduri were not part of the Galactic Council. As independent traders, they traveled between star systems, selling goods from one species to another. "We have heard of Earth's exile," Sora said during their talks. "Many consider it a harsh punishment, even by Council standards." "We survived," Jin replied simply. "And now we seek to trade. Earth has unique metals that form only under our planet's specific conditions." Sora's 4 eyes blinked in sequence. "Interesting. We have technologies that might benefit your people as well." A deal was struck. The humans would provide rare metals that the Naduri could sell throughout the galaxy. In exchange, the Naduri would provide advanced technology and information about Council space. 3 months later, human and Naduri ships worked together at a small asteroid belt in a neutral star system. The humans mined the asteroids while the Naduri processed the ore in their larger vessels. Captain Jun supervised the operation from the Resilience. He felt proud of what humans had accomplished. From exiles to trading partners with aliens, it was more than anyone could have imagined 50 years ago. The alarm blared suddenly. "Captain, 3 ships just dropped out of FTL," the sensor officer shouted. "They're Council enforcement vessels." On screen, 3 angular ships with glowing red symbols approached rapidly. "Attention, illegal mining operation," came a cold voice over the comm system. "This sector is under Council protection. Surrender immediately." Sora's face appeared on a side screen. "Captain Ryu, these are Drax enforcers. They will destroy us and take your people for questioning. You must flee." Jun gripped his chair arms. His orders were clear: avoid all contact with Council forces, but running would mean abandoning the Naduri who had helped them. "All ships, defensive positions," he ordered instead. "Prepare main weapons." Jin rushed onto the bridge. "Captain, our orders." "I know our orders," Jun cut him off. "But we're not leaving allies behind." "That's not what humans do." As the Council ships closed in, Jun sent a message to Earth with their coordinates and situation. Then he turned to his crew. "Let's show the Council what happens when they cornered humans," he said. "We may have been exiled, but we are not broken." The Resilience's engines flared to life as it moved to protect the Naduri vessels. News of Captain Jun's battle with the Council ships spread quickly. Against all odds, the Resilience and 2 Naduri vessels had escaped, though with heavy damage. They had even destroyed 1 Council ship before jumping to FTL. The Earth Council knew what this meant. War was coming. "We cannot fight the entire Galactic Council," said President Supark during an emergency meeting. "They have thousands of ships and control hundreds of worlds." Colonel Yun Kim stood up. At 38, she was Earth's most decorated military officer after Commander Sun. Her black uniform bore the marks of many exploration missions. "Then we don't fight them directly," she said. "We scatter." Her plan was bold but simple. Humans would spread to many star systems instead of staying near Earth. This way, they could not all be destroyed at once. "We call it Operation Diaspora," Yun explained, showing a map of nearby star systems. "Small groups of humans will settle on planets far from Council space. If one colony is found, the others will survive. President Su nodded slowly. How many planets can we reach? With our current ships and the Naduri's help, at least 12, Yun said. We can move 10,000 people to each world within 1 year. 2 weeks later, the first colony ships left Earth. Colonel Yun led the mission to a planet they named New Hope, a green world orbiting a yellow star. The journey took only 8 days with the improved FTL drives. Back on Earth, Director Habaek worked day and night in his lab. If humans were to live on different planets, they needed a way to talk to each other across the stars. Standard communications are too slow, he told his team. Even with FTL ships, messages take too long. Hay was 50, with gray hair and tired eyes, but his mind was sharp. He had studied the alien technology from the derelict ship more deeply than anyone except Daesung. The aliens used quantum physics in ways we never imagined, he said. If two particles are linked, they react to each other instantly, no matter how far apart they are. After months of work, Hay's team built the first quantum communication network, small devices that could send messages instantly between any 2 points, no matter the distance. This is better than anything the Council has, had told President Su when he showed her the first working model. From what the Naduri tell us, even Council worlds must wait days for messages to travel between systems. On New Hope, Colonel N's team built the first off-Earth human city. They named it Dawn. Unlike the underground cities of Earth, Dawn was open to the sky, with buildings that captured the planet's natural sunlight. We're not hiding anymore, Yun told the colonists as they raised the Earth flag. This is our fresh start. Meanwhile, Intelligence Officer Yu Chun worked with the Naduri to learn more about the Council. At 32, Yu was quiet and observant, perfect for her job gathering information. The Council isn't as united as they want us to think, she reported after meeting with Sora. Many species only follow them out of fear. Some are practically slaves. This news gave humans hope. Perhaps they could find allies among those oppressed by the Council. 6 months after Operation Diaspora began, humans had established outposts on 7 planets. Each had a quantum communicator linking it to Earth and the other colonies. When the Council finally found and attacked Earth, they were surprised to discover most humans gone. The underground cities were mostly empty, with only volunteers remaining to maintain the planet. President Su, now on the colony world New Terra, received the news instantly through Ha's quantum network. They think they've won, she told her advisors. They don't realize this is just the beginning. Across 7 worlds, humans looked up at unfamiliar stars and prepared for the next phase of their plan. 20 years had passed since Operation Diaspora began. Humans now lived on 36 planets spread across the galaxy. Earth itself had been moved to a new star system, far from its original location, pulled by massive engines reverse-engineered from Council technology. Admiral Min Song stood on the bridge of the HFS Revenge, the largest human warship ever built. At 45, Min had risen through the ranks quickly, known for her bold tactics and quick thinking. "Status report," she said to her crew. "All systems ready, Admiral. The fleet is in position." Below them, a Council mining world turned slowly. The Council had taken this planet from the Orcs, a peaceful species, forcing them to work in dangerous mines. Today, humans would free them. "Begin the attack," Min ordered. "Remember the plan, quick strikes, then jump out before their main force arrives." This was how humans fought the Council, hit and run tactics that confused the enemy. Council ships were larger and more powerful, but also slower and less flexible. They expected enemies to fight in traditional ways, with set formations and frontal attacks. Humans did not fight that way. The fleet of 30 small, fast ships swooped down on the mining world. They destroyed the defense stations in minutes, then landed troops to free the Zorix workers. 2 hours later, they were gone, taking 5,000 freed Zorix to safety. On the colony world New Seoul, scientist Du Yan Kang made an important discovery. She was the great-granddaughter of Dae Sung Kang, who had first unlocked FTL travel for humans. "Look at this," she told her team, pointing to brain scans on her screen. "When humans use alien technology, our brains show activity in areas that alien brains don't use." Do Yun had studied the few Council aliens captured during raids. She found that humans could use and improve alien technology in ways the original makers could not. "It's like we see connections they miss," she explained to Admiral Min during a video call. "We think differently." This explained why human ships were faster, why their weapons were stronger, and why Habak's quantum communication network worked when the Council had never managed to build one. "Can we use this advantage more?" Min asked. "Yes," Du Yin said. "I'm working on a way for humans to interface directly with ship systems. It will make our reactions much faster." Meanwhile, diplomat Hyun Park traveled between worlds that were not part of the Council. At 36, Hyun had a gift for finding common ground between different species. "The Council rules through fear," he told a group of Trellix leaders on their homeworld. "Humans offer friendship and fair trade." One by one, he built alliances with species who had suffered under Council rule or feared it might come. The Najuri, humanity's first alien friends, helped open doors to new contacts. Many alien leaders asked the same question: why should we trust humans when the Council says you are dangerous? Hyun's answer was always the same: judge us by our actions, not their words. We free slaves, they create them. We share technology, they hoard it. We offer choice, they demand obedience. By the 25th year of the diaspora, humans had built a network of allies across the galaxy. Their ships could appear anywhere using advanced FTL drives that Council sensors couldn't track. Their colonies were well hidden or well defended. For the first time, the Council seemed worried. In a secret meeting on New Earth, human leaders gathered to discuss their next steps. Admiral Min, Du Yun, Hyun, and other key figures sat around a table made from wood grown on their new homeworld. "The Council is beginning to fracture," Hyun reported. "Some member species question why they haven't defeated us yet." Admiral Min nodded. "Their fleets are spread thin trying to find us." President Jai Kim, who had replaced Su Park 5 years earlier, looked at them all. "Then it's time for the next phase," he said. "We stop hiding and start taking back what's ours." The grand hall of the Arvex homeworld shone with golden light. Ambassador Jun Li stood calmly before the 12 Arvex leaders. The Arvex were one of the 5 founding species of the Galactic Council. Tall and thin with skin like polished silver, they looked down at the human with 4 eyes. "You come to us with an offer?" asked the Chief Elder, his voice deep and slow. "After your kind has attacked Council ships and freed our workers." Jun nodded. At 50, he was Earth's most experienced diplomat. His simple black suit stood out among the Arvex's flowing robes. "I come with an offer of friendship," he said. "The Arvex face a resource crisis. Your home system's minerals are nearly gone after 10,000 years of mining." The Arvex leaders shifted uncomfortably. This was true, but they did not like hearing it from a human. "The Council will provide," began one elder. "The Council takes but rarely gives," Jun cut in. "We have scans of 3 star systems rich in the minerals you need. We offer you mining rights there. In exchange, we ask for peace between our peoples." The Arvex were shocked. By Council law, all resource-rich systems belong to the Council as a whole, not individual species. Yet here were humans, offering direct access. "This is against Council rules," said the Chief Elder. Jun smiled. "Humans are not bound by Council rules. We were cast out, remember. We make our own rules now." 3 days later, the Arvex signed the first treaty between a Council founding race and humanity. News spread quickly. The Galactic Council called an emergency meeting. On his ship heading home, Jun received a message from Admiral Min. "It worked," she said, her face serious on the screen. "3 more species have contacted us about similar deals. The Council is fighting amongst themselves. This had been the plan. For 50 years, humans had studied the Council, learning its weaknesses. The biggest one was simple. The Council claimed to treat all members equally, but the 5 founding races got the best planets, the most resources, and made all important decisions. "How are the preparations for defending Earth?" Jun asked. "Almost ready," Min replied. Siok's fleet is in position. Fleet Commander Siok Choi led Earth's defense forces. Humans had rebuilt their original home, adding powerful shields and weapon systems. They knew the Council would target it once they realized what was happening. In her office on New Earth, Intelligence Director Era Yoon worked through the night. Her team had hacked into Council communication systems years ago. Now they prepared their biggest move yet. "Send the data package to all Council worlds," she ordered. "Every citizen species should see it at the same time." The data package was a collection of secret Council records. They showed how the founding races had kept other species down, using them for labor while taking most resources for themselves. The records also revealed a darker secret. Humans were not the first species exiled. Over 20,000 years, the Council had pushed out any race that questioned their rule. The reaction was immediate. On dozens of Council worlds, citizens took to the streets. Some demanded changes, others declared independence. A few attacked Council buildings. The Council responded with force, sending ships to put down what they called riots. But this only made things worse. 3 Council members, the Lyrics, Taven, and Mura, announced they were leaving to join the humans. In response, the Council's Supreme Commander ordered an all-out attack on Earth. 100 of their largest warships jumped to Earth's new location. They found Commander Siok waiting with a fleet of 200 smaller, faster human ships. "Today we show them what happens when you threaten our home twice," Siok told his crews. The battle that followed was the largest in 1,000 years. Council ships fired powerful but slow weapons. Human vessels darted between them, striking critical systems with surgical precision. On his flagship, Supreme Commander Vorix of the Council watched in disbelief as his ships exploded one after another. "How is this possible?" he demanded. They were exiled with nothing. His aide had no answer. None of them understood that by exiling humans, they had only made them stronger. As the Council fleet retreated, leaving 40 destroyed ships behind, Commander Siok sent a simple message: "Earth stands free. Any who come in peace will be welcomed. Any who come for war will find only defeat." 1 year after Earth's victory against the Council fleet, representatives from 27 species gathered on New Earth. They met in a giant glass dome that showed the stars above. Each species had their own area with the right temperature, air, and gravity for their comfort. President Bo Kim of Earth stood at the center. At 60, her hair was white, but her voice remained strong. She had been elected to lead humans through this historic time. "Today, we create something new," Bo said, her words translated into all languages. "Not an empire, not a council that gives orders, but a federation where all have a voice." The Stellar Federation was born that day. Its rules were simple. Each species governed themselves. All shared technology and helped each other. None could force another to obey. Decisions affecting everyone needed agreement from all. This was very different from the Galactic Council's way. The Council told everyone what to do. The Federation asked what people wanted to do. Many species joined quickly. Some had left the Council. Others had never joined it. All saw that humans offered a better way. The Council, now with only half its former members, declared the Federation illegal. They threatened war. General Jia Song prepared for this threat. At 55, Jay had fought the Council for 30 years. He knew their ways. "They will attack with everything they have," he told the Federation Defense Committee. "This time they won't hold back." Jay created a new type of fleet. Each ship had crew from different species, using the best skills of each. Human quick thinking, Naduri sensor experts, Lyrics weapons specialists, and more. "We are stronger together than apart," he said during training. That's something the Council never understood. Meanwhile, scholar In Su Kang made an important discovery. In the ancient records taken from Council worlds, he found stories about Earth that went back much further than humans knew. "Look at this," he showed Bo and other leaders. "The Council didn't just exile us 200 years ago. They visited Earth many times over thousands of years." The records told a shocking truth. Long ago, humans had lived on many worlds. They had been part of the early space community before the Council formed. But when the 5 founding races created the Council, they saw humans as a threat. "The records say we asked too many questions," In Su explained. "We changed too quickly. We don't follow rules well." So the Council had moved early humans to Earth, erased their technology and memories, and left them to develop again from the beginning. Every few thousand years, they checked on Earth. If humans got too advanced, the Council would cause disasters to set them back. "The great floods in ancient stories," In Su said. "The falls of Rome and other empires. These weren't accidents." Bo was shocked. "They've been holding us back for 20,000 years. "Yes," In Su said, "and 200 years ago, they decided we were becoming too advanced again. But instead of another setback, they chose to exile the whole planet." This news spread through the Federation. Species who had doubted humans now understood. Humans weren't dangerous because they were bad, but because they were free thinkers who couldn't be controlled. More species left the Council to join the Federation. 6 months later, the Federation had grown to 40 species and 100 worlds. The Council, now with only its original 5 founding races and a few loyal followers, prepared for all-out war. On New Earth, Bo met with her advisors. "They're gathering their forces at their capital world," General J reported. 300 ships, their entire fleet. Bo looked at the star map showing both Federation and Council space. The Council had ruled the galaxy for 10,000 years. Now they were down to a small area around their capital. "Then it's time," she said. "Operation Homecoming begins now." Across Federation space, ships prepared for the final battle against those who had tried to destroy humanity. The Federation fleet gathered near the edge of Council space. 500 ships from 40 different species floated in perfect formation. At the center was the flagship Freedom, commanded by Grand Admiral Hyunwoo Park. At 60, Hyunwoo had gray hair and lines on his face, but his eyes were sharp and clear. He had fought the Council for most of his life. Now he would lead the final battle. "All ships report ready, Admiral," said his second-in-command. Hyunwoo nodded. "Begin Operation Homecoming." On his command, the fleet jumped to FTL speed, heading straight for the Council capital world. This planet, called Centrum by its rulers, was where the 5 founding races had first created the Galactic Council 10,000 years ago. Before the main fleet arrived, smaller ships had already slipped into Council space. These carried Jun Beck's cyber warfare teams. Jun was 40, a quiet man who could break into any computer system. "We're in position," Jun reported from his ship, ready to begin the attack on their networks. When the main fleet was 1 hour from Centrum, Jun's teams struck. At the same time, every Council communication system stopped working. Their quantum link, copied from humans but never as good, went silent. Their defense networks showed thousands of fake ships. Their weapons targeting systems failed. In the confusion, the real Federation fleet arrived. Council ships tried to fight, but they couldn't coordinate. Federation vessels, linked by human quantum communications, worked perfectly together. Hundreds of Council ships surrendered without firing a shot. Others fought briefly before being disabled. On the flagship Freedom, Hyunwoo watched the battle on the main screen. "We've done it," his second said. "The Council fleet is defeated." But Hyunwoo didn't smile. "The battle is won, but the war isn't over until we take Centrum itself." Landing ships descended to the Council capital. Federation troops, led by human officers, secured key buildings with minimal fighting. Most Council citizens, tired of their leaders' lies, didn't resist. In the great hall of the council, the 5 supreme leaders waited. They had ruled the galaxy for thousands of years. Now they sat in silence as Federation forces entered. Hyunwoo walked in with President Bo and other Federation leaders. He expected the council rulers to be angry or afraid. Instead, they seemed sad. "You have returned," said the oldest leader, his skin gray with age. "The circle is complete." Bo stepped forward. "What do you mean, returned?" The council leader pointed to a giant stone circle behind his chair. On it were carved images of many species. In the center was a figure that looked human. "This planet is where it all began," the leader said. "Humans were the first to reach the stars, long before any of us. You taught others to travel space, but then you disappeared." Scientist Mei Kim moved closer to study the stone. She had been researching human origins for years. At 45, she was the Federation's top expert on ancient history. "These carvings are over 50,000 years old," she said, using a scanner. "They show humans teaching other species how to build ships." The council leader nodded. "When our ancestors finally reached space, humans had vanished. We found your empty cities on many worlds. We found Earth, where some humans had returned to simple living. We watched you, studied you, feared you might rise again." Myre's eyes widened as she understood. "You didn't exile us from the galaxy," she said. "You exiled us from our true history. You made us forget who we were." "We thought it safer," the council leader said. "Humans create and destroy too quickly. You change everything you touch." Hyunwoo looked at the stone circle again. Humans hadn't just been victims. They had been the first teachers of the stars. "The circle is indeed complete," he said. "We left this world once. Now we've returned. But this time, we won't disappear." President Bo stepped forward. "And this time, we won't rule alone." 1 month after the Battle of Centrum, representatives from all known species gathered in the rebuilt council chamber. The old stone walls remained, but the room had been changed. Instead of high seats for the 5 founding races looking down on others, a round table filled the space. All seats were the same height. Jae-min Lee stood at the center. At 52, she had been chosen as the first Supreme Chancellor of the United Galaxy. Her simple blue uniform had no medals or fancy marks, just a small Earth symbol on one shoulder and the new Federation star on the other. 200 years ago, Jae-min began. Aliens came to Earth and pushed our planet into the cold of space. They thought this would end us. She smiled at the gathered representatives. Instead, it made us stronger. It taught us to survive. It prepared us to lead. Around the table sat former council species, Federation members, and even races that had stayed neutral during the conflict. All listened carefully. "We could punish those who tried to destroy us," Jae-min continued. "We could exile them as they exiled us. But that would only continue the cycle of fear and revenge." She walked around the table, looking at each representative. "Humans once taught the first space travelers how to reach the stars. Then we disappeared. Today we return not as conquerors, but as teachers again. We will share what we know. We will learn what you can teach us." The chamber filled with the sounds of agreement from many different species. Even the former council leaders nodded slowly. Outside the chamber, architect Dae-ho Park supervised the building of the new Federation capital. At 48, he had designed structures on 20 different worlds. Now he worked on his greatest project, transforming Centrum into a city for all species. "The main living areas need to adapt to different gravity and temperature needs," he told his team. "But the central spaces will be places where all can meet comfortably." His design included gardens with plants from hundreds of worlds, including Earth. Trees that had once grown in soil pushed far from the sun would now shade visitors from across the galaxy. In the Federation History Center, historian Young-me Song carefully arranged displays showing the journey of every member species. At 39, she had studied the past to help build a better future. "Each species has a story of struggle and triumph," she explained to visitors. Humans were exiled, but so were the Trellics and Zora in different ways. The Council tried to keep many races from reaching their potential. Her biggest display showed Earth's journey, from exile to leadership. It included pieces of the first geothermal generators built by Jae-ho Kim, models of the early spaceships, and images of the underground cities. "We remember our past," Young Mai said, "so we don't repeat the same mistakes." 3 months after the battle, the first Federation Academy opened. Here, young people from all species trained together to become ship's crews, scientists, and leaders. Human teachers worked alongside those from former Council worlds, sharing knowledge freely. On Earth, now permanently settled in orbit around a gentle yellow star, people celebrated the new era. The underground cities had been opened to the sky. Fields of green plants stretched where ice had once covered everything. In the Grand Plaza of New Seoul, a statue showed Jae-ho Kim, the engineer who had saved humanity after the exile. Next to it stood new statues of those who had led humans back to the stars. Dae-sung Kang, Sun Choi, Jeon Ryu, and many others. Above the plaza, Federation ships of many designs flew in formation. Their crews included humans and dozens of other species working together. On the flagship Freedom, now a training vessel, Admiral Sung-ho Kim watched new cadets learn to operate the ship. As the great-grandson of Jae-ho Kim, he felt special pride in how far humans had come. "They exiled us to die," he told a young cadet who asked about Earth's history. "Instead, we came back to unite the stars." The cadet, a young Arvex whose ancestors had once voted to exile Earth, looked up at the human admiral. "I'm glad you did," he said. "The stars are better with humans among them."